Hello and welcome to Polyplane.com. Today we're going to be talking about block instance. Now, I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I really want to do a little bit of a deeper dive into how a block instance kind of works and why is it useful. So I've put together a little scene here. It's like a little conference room or boardroom or whatever. And I've got a table and I've got a bunch of chairs. And what I want to do is I want to swap all these chairs out with a new chair. But I don't want to have to, take this one, delete it, put in a new one, So instead, to save time to, build some efficiencies into the modeling, what I'm going to do is use a block instance. A block instance is a reference model, either located within the file or it's typically in a separate file. So when you change the block instance file and then you come back into your model that's using the block instance file, it'll update all the instances of that file within your model. So here's what I'm going to do is open up the block instance file, which is just this chair, and I'm going to put in the other chair that I had ready, and I'm going to save it. Now what I've done is updated the reference file, so when I go into the file that I'm using it in, it should be updated, but it's not. The reason it's not is because I haven't updated the link. The file is still using the geometry from what it remembers the file last looking like. So what I'll do is type block manager, and this prompt will come up, and you'll see it says chair link status linked file is newer. So if I click on that and click update, and now the file is updated with a new model. If you were building an assembly and it had, a couple hundred parts and it had a few dozen of the same screw, you could use the block manager to, create one instance of the screw and just copy it everywhere you need it. And that way, if the screw ever changes, you can just update that file and then update it through the block manager. Now I want to show you how I did this, how I inserted these chairs. So I'll just go ahead and delete them. So what I type is insert, and I'll get this little prompt, and it's asking for a file, so I'll click on the chair, click open, and then I want to insert it as a block instance. This way I can update that file, and then the updates will show up in this model when I use the block manager. And it's asking me if I want the insertion point to be based on the coordinates of the model in the original file, or do I want a prompt? I'm gonna stick with prompt for now, and then click OK. And here's my block instance file of that chair. And then you can make as many copies of this as you want to. It's all technically still referring back to that original file. So I'll take those, mirror them over, rotate this one. So now, those are all block instances of one file. So to bring back the original file, what I'll do is I'll come back here over to my original file of the chair. And what I'll do is I'll bring back the Ames chair, delete this one, bring the Ames chair back to 0, save that, and then come back into my original file and run the block manager again. And I'm going to update that. And now it's back to the original way it was. So you can see how you can rapidly go back and forth between different models using the block instance. It's a really handy technique. Yeah, if you have any questions about this, feel free to write it down in the comments. It's a great tool. I use it all the time. And especially if you're working with a group of people on a network, this is really awesome to use because, say, Jane over here is modeling the chair, and I'm working on the conference room, and I'm linking to her file. So maybe she has some design changes on the chair, and I want to see those. I can just run the block manager again and update it, and it'll update with her file. So it's actually really cool, and I highly recommend you check it out. So, all right. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.